Salam, namaste, sat sri akal to everyone that has joined me on this beautiful afternoon. I hope you're all in good health and staying safe. I would like to wish each one of you beautiful moms watching today happy Mother's Day. I hope you're all having a beautiful love-filled day with your children and you're being treated as queens on your incredibly special day. A little poem I penned down to dedicate to all of you. I hope you like it. I am going to read it out for you now. From the moment you gaze upon the tiny little face, tiny 10 fingers and toes, your heart swells with love you never knew before. Tears stream down your cheeks of love so pure. You nurture, you protect, you pray. You live only for this little life every day. They become your dreams, your joy, your pride. They turn to you to be their guide. In silence you worry, am I doing the right thing? Through all your flaws, they love you unconditionally. You are their world, their pride, their joy. You watch them as they grow their wings and learn to fly. You watch them as they soar high into the sky. Happy Mother's Day once again to all you beautiful mothers out there, and thank you so much for joining me on this very special episode of Mind, Body, Spirit on Bridgewani. Today I'm being joined by the beautiful Zahra Walji. She's a yoga therapist by profession. Sarita, can you hear me? Hi, how are you?
Namaste. Namaste to everyone. Namaste to you, Zahra.
Welcome to the Mind, Body, Spirit show. Thank you for joining me on this special episode dedicated to all the beautiful mums.
Pleasure. And a very happy Mother's Day to all mothers.
Thank you so much. Okay, Sarita, how long have you been teaching yoga?
I've been teaching yoga now for 10 years and practicing for years. I started yoga as a child, been teaching effectively for 10 years now.
10 years, that's fantastic. That is a very, very long time to be doing that. Do you seem to enjoy yourself teaching yoga?
I'm absolutely passionate about this. This has changed the course of my life, and probably this is the purpose of my life. So I'm very grateful for this journey.
That's great. Could you walk our viewers through your journey of how you came about discovering yoga? Because when we spoke earlier, I believe before you were a yoga therapist, you led a very different lifestyle.
Absolutely. So I did my master's in business administration, and then I was a banker, and I was in sales. So I was a hardcore banker where my life was all about goals and making money and achieving targets. And then after my second one was born, I decided that it was too much of a clash with family life. And I decided to quit my job and explore different things. So I tried baking, floral arrangements, and nothing worked for me. Yoga was beautiful. I just met a yoga teacher, and then she took me to this path. And then I did my first teacher's training in India and have trained quite a lot since then. I trained as a yoga therapist 5 years back. And this journey is absolutely beautiful. As in, it has changed me as a person from that ambitious fears where it was all about, driven to targets. Now it's more calm, more grounded, more peace. I'm not there yet, as in not zen. There are times, there are moments where I lose my cool, but in a much better place now. So I'm grateful for this journey.
That's great. I'm glad you found yoga as a means to obviously make a living. Hi Shivani ji, thank you for joining us this afternoon. So yoga is a way of living almost, isn't it? And like you said, you're not quite there yet, and it's a very, very long journey. It's a personal journey, if I'm not wrong. And it's very much centered about managing your thoughts, your emotions. I think in all of our daily lives, bankers, me as a pharmacist, we get so entangled into meeting deadlines and rushing off to work. We forget to look after ourselves, don't we, really? So is there anything that you can recommend to our viewers to bring yoga into the practice? Because recently I've discovered with my family members yoga, and we do try and practice it. I will be honest, I don't manage every day because life can get extremely hectic. But those days that I try and bring routine into my 11-year-old, 5-year-old lives, we do yoga practices on a weekend or something of that sort. It brings a lot more peace and tranquility into our day. So is there anything you can recommend to our viewers?
So just arriving on the mat, you don't have to spend hours practicing yoga and trying to do a headstand or a handstand. Just connecting to your breath. So the practice that I'm designed today for our viewers, you can take that home and practice maybe 5-10 minutes, and you'll see a huge difference. Because when you connect to your breath, automatically you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system. So all that stress and the flight symptom goes away, and then you're more into resting and digesting and nourishing yourself. So see if you can incorporate that.
So would you say 15 to 20 minutes a day if you're stretching out your body?
Absolutely. And then you'll be grateful. When you're younger, you're always rushing to meet goals and you're not taking care of yourself. But now I'm 45, and then I realize so many of my friends are like, I wish we had done something for our health now. When things don't work around what your health stuff doesn't go. So it's nice to start early, and even 15-20 minutes is good enough. But just consistency, just making sure that you do the practice every day. It's not like I do it today and then after a month I decide to come back to the market. Consistency is the key, and the time doesn't matter.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Absolutely. It is about routine. It is about bringing in the practices on a daily basis to really sort of de-stress and declutter the mind.
Yeah. And so you're doing it with your children. That's the beautiful gift you're giving them, Zahra. So well done.
Yeah. So, just a moment. So, as I understand, there are 11 different forms of yoga. That's what I've come across.
Oh, I'm not counted that, but there are plenty. I've not counted that though. So, to be honest, I wouldn't know if it's 11 because there are plenty though.
So I've come across, and I'm pretty sure our viewers who have done a little bit of research for their own selves have heard of Vinyasa Yoga, Bikram Yoga,
Yoga, Ashtanga, Raj Yoga, Karma Yoga. Oh, yeah, there is.
Vinyasa, exactly. So I guess each form targets a certain lifestyle, I guess, what you're trying to achieve and what you're using that style of yoga for, which is the form that you're teaching, and what are the benefits?
Hatha yoga, so that was my basic training. So hatha is a combination of asana, postures, and pranayama, breath work. Then we incorporate yoga nidra and meditation and dharana, dhyana, other things. But because I'm a therapist, I bring in that side of my practice and my teaching also. So therapy is more nourishing yourself, taking yourself, grounding yourself, and calming yourself down. So therapy is more addressed to if your person's specific health ailment or needs that is met through my therapy side. So I do more of private lessons where the therapy needs are met, and group lessons are few where we practice asana, postures, and breath. It's a combination.
Okay, wonderful. I just want to put it out there. For those expecting mums as well, there are prenatal yoga classes.
I'm doing prenatal yoga as well.
Oh, so is that something you still teach, or
yeah, I teach, and I was trained by Uma Tuli in London, who's the best teacher in prenatal yoga aspects. So maybe what all I've done training in children yoga, prenatal yoga, yoga therapy, and restorative yoga.
Okay, wonderful. So for those expecting mums, because this is a Mother's Day special episode, so I just wanted to put it out there. The classes help to improve breathing, which helps to alleviate stress, anxiety, improve sleep. It increases flexibility, and with the gentle stretches, it can relieve as well aches and pains associated with pregnancy, such as headaches and lower back pain. Now, obviously, I believe that you teach the prenatal yoga classes.
I do. The class that I have designed today, the practice that we're going to do today, is suitable for prenatal pregnant women. It's suitable for any age, and it can be done by all. So there are no restrictions as such.
Okay, wonderful. All right. So, without further ado, I think the aim of this show today is to get all those moms that are watching, get them relaxed, get them all stretched out, help them to sort of declutter and de-stress for today. So I'll hand it over to you, and you can start with your session, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zahra. So today's practice, I have split it into three main parts. The first part is stretches to kind of release stiffness from the neck, the upper back, and the shoulder, which seems to be a very common ailment, common problem these days. Because of the time that we're spending at our desk, and everybody seems to be moving in this direction with our phones, laptops, and the intention with this short practice is to kind of reset everything back into its original alignment. So come to a seated position. If you want, you can sit on the floor if you are comfortable. If you have no knee issues, no hip issues, then you're okay to sit on the floor. Else, you can do the whole practice seated at your desk. So whatever suits you. And always be mindful that if you're doing something and if it hurts, if you don't feel good about it, take a step back, pause, and don't go into that. So arrive on the mat, just bringing your heart here to the present moment. Tuning into your breath, just softening your face, softening your eyes, softening your jaws, shoulders relaxed away from your ears, sitting nice and tall. Checking if your head is over your heart is over your pelvis in a nice straight line. Firmly seated on both your sitting bones. You're not carrying weight on one side or the other side. Bring your hand to your heart center and a couple of nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. First few breaths, just releasing any tension that you might have carried during the day. First few breaths in through the nose. One more in through the nose. So if you want to continue breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, feel free. But if that doesn't work for you, you can always go back to in through the nose, out through the mouth. I would suggest breathe through in through the nose, out through the nose. But if it doesn't feel comfortable, you can always breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now take a nice breathe in. Spread your arms wide. Puff up your chest. Draw your shoulder blades in. If your neck feels okay, drop your neck down. If your neck feels stiff, keep looking in front. Keep your gaze, keep your drishti forward. Now give yourself a nice warm hug. Draw your chin towards the chest. Bring to your mind something that you love about yourself. Let's do this two more. Breathe and spread. Puff up your chest. If you wish, you can drop your neck down or gaze up or gaze forward. Whatever suits you. Follow your heart. Just give yourself a nice warm hug. Love and kindness to your back. Let's do one more. Spread. Breathe in. Puff up your chest. Breathe into your chest. Breathe out. Give yourself a nice warm hug. Now sit nice and tall. Keep checking if your head is over your heart is over your pelvis in a nice straight line. Interlace your finger. Take it behind your head. Spread your elbows wide. Take a nice breathe in. Chin up towards the ceiling. Breathe out. Draw your chin towards the chest. Bring your elbows close to each other. Awareness on the back of your neck. Two more. In. Breathe in. Chin up. Spread your arms wide. Awareness on your back. Breathe out. Chin forward towards the chest. One last. In. Breathe in. And breathe out. Come back to center. Breathe in. Move towards the right. Breathing into your side body. Keep lifting your left elbow up towards the ceiling. Stay in the pain-free range. Anything hurts, take a step back. Back to center. Tall. Breathe in. Lateral stretch to the left. Keep lifting your right elbow up. Back to center. Breathe in. Twist to the right. As much as you can. Back to center. Breathe in. Tall. Twist to the left. Back to center. Hands to your knees. Notice any shift, any difference. Keep the softness in your face, softness in your eyes, softness in your jaws. Keep your shoulders relaxed, but the spine nice and long. Notice any shift, any difference emotionally, physically, energetically. A lot of love, a lot of kindness in your heart center. So these work brilliantly for the upper back, the neck, and the shoulders. See if you can incorporate this in your daily practice. Let's do one more of that. Extend your arms. Keep your shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Move your hand to the left. Use your left hand to tuck and keep your shoulders relaxed. Awareness here. And then again, give yourself a nice warm hug. A lot of love, a lot of kindness for your own self. Keep moving your fingers towards each other. Tighter hug. And release. Let's work on the other side. Extend. Tuck. Shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Sitting nice and tall. Tight, warm hug. Chin drawn towards the chest. Bring to mind something that you love about yourself, that you absolutely adore about yourself. And release. Notice how you're feeling, checking if everything is okay. Noticing any shift. The moment you tune to your breath, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system and the clutter in your mind goes away. So keep your awareness in your present moment. So the next set of practice that I have designed today is balancing poses, which are standing postures. So all of you can do it, but if you struggle with balance, stay close to the wall or a chair so that in case you're losing balance, you can always find a prop to support you. So come to a standing. If you need the wall, feel free to use the wall. Let's start with simple postures which you can incorporate in your day-to-day life. You don't need fancy mats for that. You just have to come away from your desk and practice. So start with lifting your right knee first. And always with balancing poses, bring your awareness to the present moment and find a fixed gaze in front of you. You can start with around 5 to 10 seconds of this. If you want, you can go longer, but slowly build the practice. And release. Let's work on the left side. Up. Stay connected to your breath. Don't forget your breath. Keep your drishti, keep your fixed gaze. Softness in your face, softness in your eyes, softness in your intention. And release. Feel free to give your legs a gentle shake. Now, if you need support, you will keep your hand close to the wall, lift, and if you're comfortable, you can move your hands away or stay there. So whatever suits you, follow your heart. Now, continue with balancing poses. Extend. Tap that inner child in you. Make it playful. Nice and tall. A lot of weight bearing on your other foot. So balancing poses are brilliant to improve bone density, and especially with women during menopause and all that. Our bone density weakens. So it's nice to incorporate some balancing. So slips and falls become very common after menopause. So see if you can incorporate this. And work on the other side. Softness. Make it playful. And release. Give your legs gentle shakes, see if everything is okay. Let's try to intensify it, just add a bit to it. And if it doesn't work for you, always come on. Standing 3. Start with wall support if you need wall. So either foot above your knee if that feels comfortable, and make sure the hip is externally rotated and the knee stays here. If this doesn't work for you, so if you've not done this can be a struggle. You can always bring your foot below the knee. So don't keep it on the outer edges of it, either below the knee or above the knee. You can always bring your hand to the heart center, and to your heart center or up towards the ceiling. And release. Gentle shake. See if everything is okay. See how you're feeling. See if you are noticing a shift emotionally, physically, energetically. And let's work on the other side. So either up here or here. Both equally good, whatever follows your heart. And release. Give your legs a gentle shake. If everything is okay, I'm going to slightly intensify the practice. See if that feels right for you. Otherwise, you can always come on. You're going to bring one leg forward, one leg back. Keep your hips square in a nice straight line. See if you want to shift your weight to the front leg and then lift this leg up. Maybe wall support if you need. Else, you can spread your arms wide. Make sure both sides of the hip is tilted towards the floor. So don't do this. up. See if you can lift your leg up. See if you can spread your arms wide. Keep your core engaged. Drishti softly forward on the floor. Drishti is very important. Drishti, your gaze. Where your gaze follows, the asana practice follows. Remember to find a fixed gaze, whatever posture you're doing. And give your legs a gentle shake. See if everything is okay. Now let's work on the other side. Lift, breathe, keep your core engaged, up, spread. Tilt your pelvis, keep lifting, wall support if you're struggling, make it playful, no competition. Give your legs a stretch. See if everything is okay. If you want to go beyond this, you can always do one more asana. Always stay close to the wall. So again, warrior 3 or virasana, the pose that we did. And then windmill your hand, this hand, so you can reach the floor. And then lift this leg up, lift this arm up. So a few of you might struggle to reach the floor. You can use the floor to reach the floor, if that works for you. Or a sofa, table, or the wall. All equal effect. And breathe. Always giving your legs a gentle shake. If everything is okay, and let's work on the other side. So virasana 3 or warrior 3. Fly, fly, fly. Red. If you can windmill your hand and go down. If this is a struggle, use a block, use a chair, use a sofa, whatever it is. Your legs a gentle shake. So the first part was for the upper back, neck, shoulder. The second part, one that we did with balancing poses. So if you don't have time to do all of it together, you can do something in the morning, something in the evening. See, keep the consistency, and then you'll slowly see a difference in your practice. Now come to a seated position. Always make sure that you have some pranayama, some breath work in your practice. Prana means life force. Ayama is extension of life force. And yoga, the beauty of yoga is pranayama or breath work. Otherwise, it could become like any other exercise. Now, the practice that we are going to do, the pranayama that we are going to practice today is Brahmari or buzzing bee pranayama. This works brilliantly for people who struggle to sleep well or who feel anxious, who feel restless and need some calming energy. You can always do it just as it is or add mudras or gestures to that. And whatever works for you, you'll follow your heart. So I'll explore 2-3 different options with you and see what works for you. So always seated either on the floor, spine nice and long, or you can always sit at your desk. So whatever works for you. Check if your face is soft, eyes soft, jaw soft. Check if your head is over your heart is over your pelvis in a nice straight line. Take a nice breathe in through the nose for Brahmari. And you'll keep a slight parting between the teeth, but you keep your lips closed. So I'm going to try to come closer so that you can hear what I'm doing with my breath. So Brahmari basically is so you can do it just like that, or you can always hear, close your senses. So if you wish, you can close your ears, place your eyes. So this mudra, the hand gesture that I'm doing is called Shanmukhi mudra. And the idea is to close all your external perceptions. So close your ears. One, the index finger above your eyebrows, the middle finger below your eyes, the ring finger on your nose tips, and the pinky finger on the lower lips. You can close all your senses, close your ears, and just keep chanting Brahmari. So I'm going to show you once with this. Breathe in through the nose. And release. You can repeat it up to 4 or 5 times in the beginning. Now, if you have ear infection or you just don't like the feeling of closing your ears, you always bring your hands to your heart center and do the same breath work, Shanmukhi or how the Shanmukhi. mudra. Now, if you're comfortable doing this, but you don't like all this, you can always close this bit and do, or place your hands on your head. So whatever works for you, you can do any of the mudras and do the Brahmari pranayama. Now with Brahmari, you can repeat 5 times, as I said. You can repeat up to 2 to 3 times a day. Whenever you're feeling anxious and you're feeling restless, if you struggle to sleep, maybe 4 or 5 minutes before sleeping. So I'm going to do 3 rounds of Brahmari without the Shanmukhi mudra, placing my hands in my heart center. See if you want to join me. Softness in your face, as always. So once you realize, you soften your face, you soften your eyes, you soften your jaws, all the stress goes away. So if you don't have time, you're too caught up with work and you don't know what to do, come to bring your awareness to your face, softness in your practice, softness in your face, softness in your, and you notice how different you start feeling. So hand to your heart. With a nice breathe in. Two more. And now there's no specific time up to which you need to pull your exhale, build it slowly. And as you keep practicing, you will notice that you can take a longer exhale. And a longer exhale is always nice to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, as in to bring your stress levels down. Hope you found this beneficial. Thank you. Namaste.
That was absolutely amazing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. We did have a couple of questions
Happy to answer.
From our viewers. First of all, I remember there was a question about what attire to wear. So if you can
What
just
you're comfortable in. So I'm dressed appropriately today because I was here in the session. Otherwise, most days I'm in my shorts or PJs. So whatever is comfortable, we're not feeling restricted with the moves.
Okay,
it's more important what time to eat rather than the attire, as in don't eat, at least leave a break of 2 to 3 hours before you do your practice. If you're going to do intense asana practice, leave a gap of 2 to 3 hours.
Okay. And we have a question from Shibani ji. Can you show one exercise for reducing stomach fat, please?
Yeah. See, there are a lot of these, I keep seeing these videos also where it says 5 asanas, 5 postures, and you'll have a flat belly. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. The nutrition has to be, in fact, the nutrition has a more important role to reduce the flat tummy rather than asana. Yes, you can strengthen the core, yeah, because a lot of postures need a strong core, but the 6-pack abs and the fat reduction doesn't happen as such just with yoga. Nutrition has to be 100%.
Okay, wonderful. Right, so I feel really relaxed.
Next question from Krishna Kumarji. Do you want to take that?
Can we do something without leaving our bed?
Of course you can do. So the Brahmari pranayam that we practice, the breath work, the last bit, you can practice that, and the seated postures, the first bit that we practice. Unfortunately, with balancing poses, you'll have to come out of the bed. But there's a lot of things you can practice. Thank you, Krishna Kumarji.
And he would love to see you on Brijwani every week.
I do. So thank you, Krishna Kumarji. Thank you.
And I believe there was another question. Is there a specific time you can recommend to do yoga? A specific time during the day?
If you see traditional yoga, it's called Brahma Muhurt, which is early in the morning, like when the sun is rising 4 or 5. But I understand life is very different now. So whatever time suits. Now, if you're doing an active asana practice or posture practice with breath work, there are lots of different breath works which are activating pranayams like the Kapalbhati, Bhastrika. Unfortunately, we don't have time for that. You can practice it in the morning. So which is activating good in the morning, but something which is calming, like the Brahmari pranayam and general stretching good in the evening, so that it doesn't have you.
So when you were doing the breathing exercises just now, for example, the ones with the hands over the
the Brahmari.
I was obviously doing it with you, and I felt almost as if the whole burden, the whole anxiety was dissipating. It
Yeah,
almost, it was so relieving.
yeah. It's,
And
it's the best for sleep if you struggle with sleep or if you're feeling anxious. Please do that. It makes a huge difference.
yeah. So, for those mums, I mean, obviously I'm referring to mums this afternoon because
Of course.
we are dedicating this special episode to all the beautiful mothers that work so hard, be it managing work life, home life, children, school, homework, etc. So, obviously I'm referring to mums this afternoon, but this applies to the general public, obviously.
Absolutely. Children included. Yeah.
So,
In fact, I love this Brahmari pranayam. Children, especially, I've seen with my kids' yoga classes, they get to make sound. Generally, pranayam or breath work is just, stillness and you're just breathing in and they get distracted. When you're making the sound and doing it, it keeps them occupied and helps them to calm down. So you can incorporate it with anyone. Works
Yeah,
brilliant.
so as I was saying, I mean, I've tried to get my children to start doing more yoga. I'm no expert. Okay, so we follow YouTube videos for beginners levels, and it almost transforms them into completely different children because, it brings in that calmness in the day. So, I am going to say to the viewers just now, actually, that allow yourself at least half an hour every morning, if you can't manage any longer, to bring yoga into practice, because it makes such a difference. You feel grounded, and
Absolutely.
the breathing exercises that we've been shown today, it alleviates so much anxiety, so much of those butterflies going on in the belly. I have to do this, I have to do that.
We're
So
always
please, moms,
rushing. There's no
dads,
grounding. So it's nice to
yeah,
just ground ourselves because we're all in our headspace, constantly thinking
absolutely,
what to do next, what to do next. It's nice to just ground ourselves, stay in the present moment,
absolutely.
and just enjoy life, rather than always in a rush, rush, rush.
Absolutely. We have a question from Krishna Kumar. Should we drink lots before we start doing yoga? Would that be good
What
practice?
kind of drink is he talking about? Is it water or some other drink?
I think only he can clarify that. But suppose with water, would you say not to drink as much, or
Not
would you
too
say?
much, not too much. And during the practice also, if you're doing an asana practice, which is a posture practice, you're trying to create agni or heat in the body. So if you're constantly drinking, you're dancing with fire. So don't drink too much of water during the practice. Also, I see a lot of people just drinking water. They do one posture and they drink water. Try to avoid that. Unless, of course, you're feeling dehydrated, you need water. You will. You don't try to kind of drink. So, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. It has been a very informative and very practical session. I hope we have managed to get our moms out there a little bit more relaxed, showing you how to deal with stress during the day and how to use the breathing exercises and the stretching exercises to calm yourselves down, to deal with the anxieties of the day when you're having to do 1,000 things and your mind is racing. And just to bring yourself back into grounding. You can do it any time of the day, so in between chores when the anxieties are high,
And if
and
you
you're
don't have time
panicking.
for the whole practice together, as I mentioned, you can have something in the morning, something in the evening. So you don't have to do it all together.
Yeah, so we've got comments coming, very beautiful, informative show. So thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you.
It's been a beautiful show, and happy Mother's Day to all of you once again. And look after yourselves, look after each other. Make sure you join me same time next week on Brijwani on Mind, Body, Spirit. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.